This week on the show, I've got Batman, Deadpool, Star Wars, Death of the Inhumans, Captain America, Green Lanterns, Justice League, Man of Steel, Weapon X, Avengers, Cosmic Ghost Rider, The Walking Dead, and the conclusion of I Hate Fairyland. Strap yourselves in and grab your butts, because here we go. Thank you. Thank you. We're back. Back this week. That's right. Thank you. I know, last week was kind of a. So, let's just go ahead and do this and get this out of the way, and let's do Batman number 50. Okay? Alright? Batman number 50. Alright, yeah, I know. It was spoiled all over the internet, and it was bad, and so this is the issue that Catwoman and Batman get married. No, it isn't. This is basically an entire issue that's dedicated to showing the entirety of the past for Batman and Catwoman, and it's basically spelled out in this letter that you get one page of Batman's letter and another page of Catwoman's letter as they kind of go through their sordid past and sordid history about their feelings for each other. There are even instances where it looks as if they're going to go through with this. Batman even goes and gets a judge, and he asks Alfred to be his witness. Catwoman breaks Holly Robinson out of Arkham to come be her witness, and there's a thing. They're happy, and then they decide they're not going to get married after reading each other's letter. It's just all kinds of, yeah. No, I agree with you guys this time. I really do. That's what I got out of that. Yeah. So it was just, it was horrible. It was just junk and garbage. Junk and garbage. Okay, so, alright, that's out of the way. It's over, it's done with. No more Batman issue number 50 talk. Probably for a while. So, alright. Let's move on to something a little more lighthearted, huh? What do you say? Good. So, next up, we've got Deadpool issue number 2. So the Avengers have come looking for Deadpool because supposedly he is in possession of a weapon that can kill the Celestial that has, come to Earth, and he's like puking up all this nastiness, ready to destroy the Earth. So, of course, when the Avengers find Deadpool, he picks a fight with them, and they whip his lily-livered ass. And when they finally get around to getting asked to ask Deadpool where the weapon is, of course he's got no idea where it is because the whole mind wipe thing. But he does allow the Avengers to hire him to kill this thing, and of course the Avengers are cool with that. Deadpool pops a smoke grenade and manages to escape, and he makes his way to a storage facility where he's keeping a device that he picked up while he was the Herald of Galactus that he thinks could probably help. Now, the thing that gets me about this is that he remembers being the Herald of Galactus, but he doesn't remember most of the other things. Comic books, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, just like that. So, alright. Star Wars, issue number 50. That's right. So, the rebels are getting ready for a celebration. Yay, celebration, yay. Alright, stop it. And they're at their new secret facility where they're preparing to unveil their new fleet because they've, saved the Mon Calamari and they're all, yay, now we have this brand new fleet. Well, while the rebels prepare for their celebration, they've got no idea that their special guest, who helped them retrieve the Mon Calamari King, Queen Trios, has actually not betrayed the Empire and has actually been working for Vader the entire time, gaining Leia's trust and infiltrating the rebels. And she's given the location of their rebel base. And now Vader has found them and begun destroying their ships one by one. So, how will the rebels get out of this one? Will they survive this onslaught from Vader? Tune in episode next time when we talk about Star Wars issue 51. Mystery. Anyway, we're just gonna... Seriously? It wasn't even really a joke. I hate you. I should have never allowed you to start playing with that thing. Yeah, that pretty much. Okay. Next up is Death of the Inhumans. Not so much, though. Hold on, just keep, we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, all right? So, the Kree have sent a message to Black Bolt with, the death of a bunch of Inhumans. And inscribed on their dead bodies is the message, join or die. So, of course, Black Bolt and the royal family journey to a distant planet to meet with the 4 leaders of the other Inhuman tribes to discuss going to war with the Kree. Because, however, when they arrive on the planet, they find the leaders dead, strung up, and a trap that actually manages to kill Triton. Back at home, in the new Inhuman base on the moon, an assault has begun by the Kree and their new super Inhuman named Vox, who basically looks like kind of like a cross between Venom, Black Bolt, and the Grim Reaper. And that's just kind of a thing. So, but this Vox has been created specifically to kill Inhumans. And of course, Maximus steps up to the plate and tries to stop Vox as Black Bolt and the family race home. Lockjaw manages to teleport home ahead of everyone to try to save as many people as possible. But is he and Maximus powerful enough to stand against Vox? Dun dun dun. Should probably get a sound effect that says dun dun dun. I should put that on the list. No, I'm still not going to get you a microphone. Stop it. Jeez. Okay. Moving right along to Captain America, issue number 1. So we're starting over again. So, because that's what they do. We just had 700 issues of Captain America. They're going to start at 1 again. That's what you do. So, Steve is still facing problems in the wake of the whole evil Stevel, as it were, and the whole thing with the Secret Empire. And then the aftermath of an attack during a Hydra protest, Cap, Sharon, and Bucky are working to clean up the area when a group of nuke soldiers decide that, they're going to come crash the party, and so they have to clean that up now. General Ross shows up for some reason to recruit Sharon and Bucky for a special project and a team that he's working on, but Cap isn't allowed to join. PR purposes, obviously. In Russia, Selene, she's a mutant and former Black Queen of the Hellfire Club. Just look her up, okay? She is rallying people to her cause in the wake of Hydra's dismantlement, and she's using, former Hydra, operatives, and she's using their execution as kind of a way to be like, look, I'm destroying Hydra, look at me. So, there's bound to be some bad things going on. Next up is Green Lanterns, issue number 50. So, John's been sent to investigate a ship that was attacked, and when he arrives, he himself is attacked by a being named Eon and his fleet. The Guardians sense something is wrong, and they send Guy and Kilowog to find John, and then they send word for Simon, Kyle, and Jessica to return to Mogo. When they arrive there, there's this giant storm tearing Mogo apart, basically, and just destroying cities. When they try to help with evacuations, a building is nearly destroyed, and Simon goes in to, help people get out. And then Jess and Kyle find Simon over the body of one of the Guardians, now dead. So, and something is definitely going wrong with the rings, because Jessica's ring all of a sudden is telling her not to trust Simon, and like Simon is the one who killed the Guardian and blah blah. So super confusing, like just a pretty much just confusingness. So now we have Justice League number 3. So I don't know, I'm confused at this point, because I thought Justice League number 2 was first appearance of Jon Stewart as the Ultraviolet Lantern. Some people are saying this is the first appearance of Jon Stewart as the Ultraviolet Lantern. I don't honestly know. I don't really care. It's not as big a deal as people are making it out to be. Not every first appearance is a big deal. Calm the down. So Jon is now under the control of the Ultraviolet Spectrum, an ancient unforeseen force, and he's come to dispatch the Justice League. But of course, despite his new powers, he's no match for them, and his connection with the Ultraviolet is severed. I know, right? Just that quickly. I kid you not, within like 3 pages, done with the I don't know. Inside the totality, Jean and Superman make contact with beings similar to those imprisoned on the Source Wall, and that has some major consequences. The Justice League decides to split up. Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the Flash make their way to some ancient underwater facility that is in some kind of like no-fly zone, or no swim zone, I guess, rather. Aquaman's like things can't survive in that area. I don't know, whatever. And apparently it's housing a bunch of cryogenically frozen white Martians. But maybe not so cryogenically frozen. Ooh. Cyborg and Jean head to what's left of the Justice League Watchtower on the Earth after Jean blew it up. And they learn that the ancient being named Umbrax has come to Earth to make it part of the invisible spectrum, or the ultraviolet spectrum. I gotta be honest with you. We're 3 issues in, and I'm finding this to be kind of confusing, and I'm not really. I get it, okay? I'm not really enjoying this as much as I want to. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. Maybe things will start to get sorted out, but. So next up is the final issue of Man of Steel. And we finally get a couple of answers. Yay! So, Superman has gone to the center of the Earth and managed to steal the machine that Rolgo was going to use to destroy the planet to cleanse the Kryptonian plague that is apparently plaguing the universe. So, while Rolgo and Superman fight in space, Supergirl, because she's smart, manages to get the drop on him and send him into the Phantom Zone with the projector. So, why didn't Superman think of that? I don't know. Probably because his britches were too tight. It's weird. So, Supergirl decides that she's going to take a little trip through space to see if she can get some answers about Rolgo. Thank God. We also learn that Lois and John have gone with Jor-El to take this journey across the galaxy, where Jor-El hopes to kind of show John that there's more out there than just Earth and kind of teach him about himself. And Lois is going basically because she didn't want her son to go with Jor-El, and I don't blame him. He does seem like he's got some ulterior motives, and he does seem like he is getting a little bit, he doesn't seem like he's all there. So, but thank goodness that is over and done with. I'm really looking forward to Superman actually starting, and Bendis giving us a sense of where he's going with this whole Rolgo thing. So, we'll see. Next up is Weapon X, issue number 20. So, Sabretooth, Domino, Lady Deathstrike, and Omega Red are planning an assault on the forces of Sickle, with Warpath right behind them, determined to stop them. And he's pissed, let me tell you. So, as Sabretooth and his team battle the forces of Sickle, Warpath is kind of detoured as he's forced to defend himself against Wingard, a Russian team of heroes. They're kind of like the Russian version of the Avengers. Once Omega Red and the Sabretooth's team finishes the Sickle commanders, Warpath easily beats the Wingard because they're a bunch of pussies, and he turns his attention to Sabretooth, and Warpath is pretty pissed the hell off. So it doesn't seem like things are going to go very well for Sabretooth. I'm pretty sure Warpath is going to rip his arms off, and much deserved. Rip his arms off and beat him with his own arms. Much deserved. So next up is Avengers number 4. Yes. All right. So Thor and She-Hulk have gone to Odin looking for help, and he leads them to a vault that nobody has ever seen and nobody ever knows about, and it contains the blood of Ymir, the father of all giants. And Odin tells Thor that there's really no hope for Earth and they can't defeat the final host, and he, blah blah blah, all hope is lost, blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, Iron Man and Doctor Strange have gone to the home of the Eternals looking for help, but they find them all dead, except for one who tells Tony the only way to stop the only way to stop these Celestials is with the Unimind. And apparently Tony is the Unimind? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out next issue. Carol and T'Challa, meanwhile, are on Alpha Flight Station trying to learn more about these insect creatures that came out of the ground. And Ghost Rider has managed to track down the final host in Antarctica. So, not sure what he thinks he's going to do by himself. But, you got to give the kid, props for the effort, Next up is Cosmic Ghost Rider. Right. Everybody I know has been waiting for this, and here it is. It is finally here. Cosmic Ghost Rider issue number 1. All right. So, Frank Castle, to give you kind of a little background if you don't know who Cosmic Ghost Rider is, Frank Castle is the Cosmic Ghost Rider. And after being killed by Thanos in an attack on Earth, Frank goes to hell, makes a deal with Mephisto, and becomes the Ghost Rider. He gets sent back to Earth, but of course the Earth has been completely, all life on Earth is gone. And while he goes insane, Galactus finds him and makes him his herald, giving him the power Cosmic. Then Thanos kicks Galactus' ass and basically makes Frank his, left hand of destruction kind of thing. Then, in a battle with a Mjolnir-wielding Silver Surfer, Frank is killed again. And this is where we pick up. So, now in Valhalla, Frank is apparently causing a lot of problems, and Odin is basically just kind of fed up with him. And he gives him his powers and his bike back and says, hey, you know what? All right, you want to go? I'm going to let you leave, and I will send you anywhere at any time. Just tell me where you want to go, and I will send you there. So Frank decides that he's going to go to Titan. But he goes to Titan when Thanos is just a little baby, right? The whole killing Hitler as a baby thing, right? So Frank goes to Titan while Thanos is a baby, thinking he's going to kill Thanos when he's a baby on Titan, as it were. And everything will be all right in the universe. Problem is, when Frank gets to little Taiki Thanos, he's not so tiny or Taiki. And Frank can't bring himself to kill the little kid and kidnaps him instead. So, yeah, shenanigans have already ensued. Hey, to each his own, I guess. If you're gonna go back in time and kill something, why kill it when you can just kidnap it? I guess. I don't know. It seems a little, so. But hey, comic books, Frank Castle is the cosmic Ghost Rider. I mean, he's not just Frank Castle. He's a violent sociopath with the power of the Ghost Rider and the power of cosmic. I mean, I don't know how much I don't know how much how more overpowered anti-hero can we get? I mean, ooh, I guess it would be too much to ask to make Deadpool a cosmic Ghost Rider. That would just be that. Okay, too far. I apologize. Too far. So, all right, we'll move on to The Walking Dead, issue number 181. Now, Rick has brought the Commonwealth group to Oceanside so that they can kind of get, an idea of how, everything else is working outside of Alexandria. And while they're there, they come across a herd, and they decide they need to draw the herd away from Oceanside or it'll, be overrun. And they enlist a little bit of help from Commonwealth. Of course, things don't go according to plan. And the Commonwealth governor puts Princess and Mercer in danger. But luckily, Dwight and his troops were nearby, and they wipe out the herd, saving Princess and Mercer. Yay. It seems like Princess might have a little thing for Mercer, too, which I guess I could be okay with. But I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Kind of right now, I kind of feel like The Walking Dead is in kind of a weird place right now with, the whole Commonwealth thing and the fact that she calls herself the governor just kind of... I know it's probably a complete red herring, but I don't know. She kind of seems like she's got an ulterior motive anyway. So, the last comic book we have is the final issue, of I Hate Fairyland, issue number 20. Oh, it's just, I know, I was sad too. So, Gert's come face to face with Dark Claudia and carries all the power of the council with her. As the two battle, Claudia's power fades. Gert resorts to simply just pounding her face in. But Larry convinces her to stop and not to kill Claudia, and instead gives her to the king to be placed in the deepest dungeon. Now Gert wants the council to hold up their end of the bargain and send her home. But they're giving her, the whole usual roundabout, they're like, they don't want to send her home, blah, blah, blah. So Gert decides that she's going to use their power for her own purposes if they don't send her home. And they're like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I'm going to keep this power that you're giving me. And they're like, no, you have to give it back. And she's like, no, I really don't. Like, I have to willingly give it back to you. And if you don't send me home, I'm not going to willingly give it back to you. So they're like, okay. So poof, they send her home. And now she's back in the real world, all grown up, with a soul-sucking job that she hates, and couldn't be more miserable. Yeah, that's right. So, hey, 20 issues of... This was a really good run. It was a really good story. If you've never picked up any of the I Hate Fairyland stuff, I really challenge you to pick up the first trade and just read it. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, let me know. I can't not say enough good things about I Hate Fairyland. Thank you, Scotty, for sharing this story with us. And it was awesome. Even though sometimes, and sometimes. But on the whole, on the up and up, this was some good stuff. It really was. So that is it for comic books this week. Before we go, though, I did get the opportunity to see Ant-Man and the Wasp this weekend. Came out, and real quick, spoiler-free review. Nothing happens. I enjoyed the movie a lot. It's definitely the kind of movie that I would expect. It was a lot funnier than the first movie. There were definitely a lot more, and there were a lot of people. There were a couple of instances where they would, at one point the story kind of But they got back to the, and everything was, and there was a whole lot of, which is the kind of thing you expect out of a Marvel movie. And not just a Marvel movie, but Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, all in all, not giving away any kind of ending or anything like that. Go see the movie. You will enjoy it. It definitely gives you the answer as to where Ant-Man and the Wasp were during Infinity War. So, just take it with what it is and enjoy it for what it is. Please, no anger. Okay, none of that, because it's a good story. It's a good movie. Everything was up and up. So, with that, that's it for this week. Until next week.